Yeah. And I think you hit one of the big things where it's companies are afraid to say that price. They protect it so much. Um, but companies also are so quick to protect what they think is helping them win, right? So on our list, on our top 100, you would believe, but a lot of the listeners might not believe how willing the top guys and gals are to share the information of what works. The best will share quickly, right? Because they actually want the whole industry to get back up with them because now they're fighting on a level playing field. They're not fighting with the guy that has less overhead or whatever the case may be, or they're not, warranty, whatever the case may be. We want that top tier product across the board because one, I mean, it'll help the economy. If you really take a step back, you look down. If people are putting the best products by the best companies, best installation across the country on a consistent basis, our insurance will come down. If the people are doing that, of the $450 billion industry that this is, over half of that is rework. So you can start to imagine the level of pickups and efficiencies that the whole, you know, economy could really get from time back all the way to liability. Let's step into the world of the future, which is actually here right now in the home improvement industry, and that's AI.
Yeah.
Where do you see AI going, Marcus? Where is it right now? And if I'm a company, a home improvement company, or a company that's thinking about attending an event like the one we're going to be at, the Pinnacle event, and a big topic is going to be AI. Where would I be really concerned if I'm a company and I'm sitting here listening to this and I'm like, here's where I currently stand with AI. Like, and this is the level of AI integration that's in my business right now. Where am I concerned and where am I happy on the big scheme of success?
AI is such a significant conversation, and let me just say, let me preface what I'm about to say with I'm not a bloviator, I'm not an exaggerator. I do make predictions here and there. Generally, I tend to be pretty close to being right because I don't make a lot, right?
Okay.
And I can tell you right now that AI is much, much bigger than the internet. The only equivalents, that we've seen in terms of technology, developmental in the history of the world are probably fire and electricity. I mean, those are the closest two things in terms of just impact on the world. And most folks right now, and most business leaders are not taking it seriously. They're not in the sandbox. And, it's no different than if you go back to 1999. 1999, internet's been going for a few years now. Companies are starting to get websites, but a lot of companies said, I don't need a website. There's a lot of folks in the home improvement space said, I don't need a website, right?
Yeah.
And what happened, right? How'd that work out for them? And eventually they all got websites, and it's a core part of your game, especially if you ever want to scale and have a sellable business. I mean, this is the way that works. And so we're going to go through a period right now where there's going to be a lot of folks that are going to resist AI, and they're going to say, it's just not my thing. Well, the marketplace doesn't care about what's your thing, doesn't care about what's my thing, cares about the marketplace, right? We know that the marketplace doesn't wait for us. It definitely doesn't care about our opinions. And so what's going to happen is AI is going to affect every facet of our business. It's going to affect sales, it's going to affect marketing, it's going to affect accounting, it's going to affect your ability to plan accordingly. I mean, just there's so many things that it can do for you if you'll just get in the dang sandbox. And that's the biggest thing that you can do as a business leader right now is get in the sandbox. But there's going to be some pretty big macro trends that happen because of AI, right? So on the micro level within your company, you can do a bunch of things, right? You can take a one person marketing department and make it feel like five people work in it if you just understand how to use AI. So that's a pretty beautiful thing, especially in home improvement where we're notorious for not having much marketing departments, yet we cry the blues when we can't get enough leads post COVID rainbow, and suddenly we're in a dogfight on every deal, right? Which is where a lot of folks are right now. So marketing stinking matters when you are fighting for deals, right? Sales matters. So you're going to be able to use AI very, very much in these areas. And I'm not even going to go there. Let's go where it's going to affect us on a macro level, though. On a macro level, this is where it's exciting for me because for years, Hollywood has treated blue collar very poorly and turned off the interest, let's say, to people becoming electricians and plumbers and builders, etc., contractors. Well, that's changing, right? And no longer are we going to need just Mike Rowe to be, ringing the bell for us. Now, as we look at what's happening, we're going to see a mega trend of more and more youngsters that are saying, you know what, I see opportunity. I see job security, and I see potential six-figure incomes if I get into the skilled trades. That's very, very exciting. And so as we look ahead, now we can start to recruit based on security. Whereas before, I mean, we thought 10 years ago that AI was just going to just rip apart blue collar. And mainly it was stemmed from the fact that we just kept talking about truck drivers, autonomous trucks are going to kill truck drivers. That's what
Yeah.
everybody wanted to talk about, right? Really what's happening is people that are in the field of information, which is a lot of white collar workers, right? And so those folks are the ones that are in the most peril. The ones that are not, at least for probably a solid 100 years, are blue collar folks, dudes that are installing swimming pools in backyards. Like, that's my people right there. You got a good opportunity to do some pretty special things if you're paying attention. So here's what you got to do. You got to get in the sandbox of AI. You got to play with it. You got to learn to use it so that you can multiply your efficiencies and essentially your people without adding people to your organization, tremendous outputs, and take advantage of the macro, that mega trend, which is, hey, more and more people are going to turn now towards blue collar and say, maybe I should be doing that. Maybe I shouldn't be going to college. Plus, let's not get me started on the waste that is 99% of what you learn at a university. And so this is why it's a very, very exciting time for those that are in the home improvement space.
Yeah, I have an 8-year-old, and my wife and I have battled back and forth at this. And I turn to her, my 8-year-old, and I say, "You don't need to go to college.
No.
If you're doing it." And I use the same principle as YouTube, as her iPad. And I know this is a very elementary example, but it's something that I firmly believe, and I practice it with myself, is you need to be using things to your advantage and to your massive learning so you can be more efficient. So if you're using your iPad or your YouTube or your technology or your AI to your advantage, then you're going to win. If you otherwise, you're going to let it use you on the outside, or somebody else is going to be using it to improve their life and be better. So I look at college and I say, okay, does college use you, or do you use college? Well, college used me. I'll raise my hand. I mean, I played basketball. I didn't really have to pay for it. So fortunately, I just wasted time and created a bunch of bad habits. I didn't have a financial debt to take on after it. However, there are so many people that go through college just because it's status quo.